Hello and welcome to another week where we discuss supplier diversity in small business, um, economic impact. Sorry about that. I lost my place for a second. But yeah, before we begin, I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in and supporting these podcasts. I know they're still new and still trying to evolve on different topics that we need to discuss. But as always, if you have any suggestions or any feedback, definitely let me know in the comments below, or shoot me an email. Check out our website, and one of the things that we're constantly trying to do is make this particular series better, and always open to feedback. So that being said, let's go ahead, let's get started. So I want to talk about a couple of things. Hopefully I can kind of string these together to let you see how they all kind of match. But I want to start off with the controversial Colin Kaepernick uh, advertising ad that Nike released some time ago. Now, the reason why I want to start here is because as we deal with this podcast, we really support things that we really support supplier diversity and whatnot, and kind of how diverse small businesses are impacting businesses, large businesses, the economy, etc. So this is a little bit different. However, I do think that it still kind of plays into the point, which is supporting diversity can have its advantages. Now, as you can see at the very beginning, 10 days after Nike's new Colin Kaepernick ad provoked calls for boycotts and whatnot, shares hit an all-time high as of Thursday at $83.47. It did take a dip when it originally aired in terms of the Nike ad, but since then it's has increased. As many people said that it would. What Nike has seen is strong sales from the beginning. So Nike purchases, where did it say Labor Day? Yep. So Edison Scan, the company Edison Trends, which was taking a look at it, they scanned 200 online retailers, and they found that when you're doing year-to-year comparisons, so Nike purchases went up 22% higher than on the same day in 2017, and then on Wednesday, as you can see, it just continued to rise. So, from the small sample size that we have of 10 days, we are seeing a bit of an increase. Now, I do believe that when you're talking about a campaign ad like this, you really have um, a short time where this can impact. I know it's saying that hey, we have to look a year to see how the impact really develops. But I don't agree with that because again, this time by the end of December, nobody's really going to remember this, right? This is the turnover rates when it comes to different advertisement nowadays just are extremely high. So I think that an advertisement like this, in terms of sticking with people, it's only going to last for maybe a month or two at most. So when you're seeing that boost to sales, I think that that's kind of where you're going to see it at. Now, if they come out with more ads, then obviously it can impact it in the future. But for this particular ad, I think that the fact that it boosts sales proves that you know, sales as well as their stock price prove that it was a success, in particular in the short term. Now, so I definitely that's just kind of how I feel when it comes to this piece. Whether you like Colin Kaepernick and what he stands for or not, the numbers are the numbers. But at the end of the day, I think that it really comes down to, and we see it here, the economy. So as you can see, small business optimism surges to highest level ever, toppling previous Reagan era high. Now, the reason why people are buying at substantially high rates, Nike and whatever, insert your favorite or least favorite brand, is because the economy is doing well. Um, Again, Colin Kaepernick is a controversial figure, but at the end of the day, the economy is doing well. People are going to buy Nikes because they like Nikes, and people are going to buy, whatever they're going to buy because the economy is doing well and consumer spending is just up right now. So as you can see, for small business optimism, since all spending is kind of up right now, optimism for all businesses, particularly small businesses, is high, right? Which makes sense. As you can see, it hit 108. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index jumped to 108.8 last month, the highest level ever recorded in the survey's 45-year history. Um, and again, the reason being is because the economy is doing extremely well. So again, I think that had a lot to play with the whole boost in the numbers that's going on right now. And as you can see, as we segue over small businesses, because optimism or one of the reasons why optimism is so high is because online because their lending rates are high as well, right? Small businesses are planning to expand. They need to lend from different entities, maybe online lending, as you can see from OnDeck, maybe other established institutions as well. But the fact that lending is so high leads to small business optimism because they're able to expand. I mean, because the economy is so well, people are buying more. Now, for OnDeck small business online lending, essentially tops 10 billion. The reason why this is so special and important is that here, today OnDeck announced that they're the first financial technology industry, aka the first non-bank online lender to surpass 10 billion in total loans originated to small businesses. So as you can see, um, this the whole market of online lending is just steadily increasing, and it's just going to increase, in my opinion, a lot more. As you can see here, according to a small business credit survey from the Federal Reserve, small business owners are turning to online lending in record numbers, or online lenders, excuse me, in record numbers. And then it talks about how in 2017, 24% of small businesses seeking credit applied online, up from 25% the previous year. So we're just continuing to see this increase. And another benefit of this, or not benefit, but another thing that's happening within the market is that satisfaction rates are also increasing among small businesses when it comes to online lending. So more small businesses are going online, um, uh, and the technology from fintech companies such as OnDeck is getting better to increase satisfaction rates. And as you know, the more people that use it, the more it becomes trustworthy, which means that additional people will use it as well. So, congratulations to OnDeck, but this is just a sign of the times, and it probably will increase, which is why you're seeing a lot of banks making their lending processes easier for small businesses to win and be accepted when it comes to lending. And then at kind of at the bottom, it just tells you just a couple of points for lending as a whole and kind of where we are as a country. But again, strong economy means that a lot of places, a lot of people are doing well. Now, I want to end with this. As you can see, Melinda Gates' new research reveals alarming diversity numbers. It's something because I want to talk to this point because I feel like there's a lot of reflection when it comes to diversity and inclusion in the workplace and supplier diversity in small businesses too. Uh, so you see a lot here. Basically, a new report from the Melinda Gates research team shows that 11% of senior tech leaders are women. It goes more in depth in here. We're talking about 5%. Uh, One of the reasons why it could be so low is because only 5% of companies philanthropic giving went to programs that focus explicitly on women and girls in tech, and less than 0.1% of their grants went to programming for women of color. Now, they've got some, pretty alarming figures here on the fact that here it is, the ratio of Black, Latina, and Native American women receiving computing degrees has dropped by a third, from 6% to just 4%. And if this is something that's near and dear to your heart, definitely take a look at this from the Wired article. This is definitely important. But one of the things that has come of this is that they've now created a coalition, Reboot Recognition Tech Coalition, that includes Microsoft, Qualcomm, LinkedIn, and a couple of others, which they aim to double the number of underrepresented women of color graduating with computer science degrees by 2025. And they're looking at pledging 12 million over the next 3 years. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, let's see where this is at, just so that you can get a look at it. So here's what I want to talk about, and then I'll kind of relate it to supply diversity and small business initiatives. So taken together, these companies brought in 500 billion. So people who are, you know, doing their philanthropic efforts, 500 billion in sales last year, and they spent more than 500 million on philanthropy. Of the 500 million they spent, 24 million went to support programs for women and girls, and just 335,000 targeted at programs aimed at women of color. So whenever you see different programs, and this is a really good example, and I'm going to, even compare it to other programs within, we're talking about supporting diverse businesses such as women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, and small businesses as well. What you'll see in a lot of different and even in my articles as well at suppliernews.com, you'll see this number here, right? So you'll see 300,000 are going, such program, or of the 32 large companies donate 300,000 to programs aimed at women of color, right? And you'll see people, who support women of color, getting into tech, uh, into tech industry, saying, "Oh, this is great." You'll see people who maybe not support and don't support diversity be like, "Oh, that's just way too much. That's ridiculous. That money should be going to other things." What we're seeing here is that it's it's a very low number. I mean, 500 million that these 32 companies are giving, and only 300,000 is going to women of color. And I'm just kind of pointing that out just to give you kind of an example of, you know, when we're arguing and debating over these numbers that are going to diverse programs and whatnot. When you look at it from a total scale, it's really not that much, which is why you see so many diverse programs asking for more money. Because I think we can all agree 0.1% is not a lot, right? Of any number. 0.1% is not a lot of any number, period. Um, so the fact that we're even having debates over if these programs need money, I think is ridiculous. And the fact that, a lot of times these programs aren't succeeding, it makes sense, right? Because it's only 0.1%. Now, obviously, we have the 24 million, which is a lot more, a lot more bigger. And I think we can all safely assume that there are probably women of color that do receive support from this 24 million, outside of the 335,000. So, if you looked at these programs that support women and girls, I'm pretty sure if you took a look at this, you probably have to do a little bit of a deep dive to see how many women of color are being supported in there to give you an accurate number. But still, the fact that, when we're debating over these numbers that are, directly going to diverse people, I think that this is just a really good example of just the percentage numbers is just not as much as you think, which is why people within supply diversity and small business are continuing to ask for more dollars. And again, not even diverse businesses, but also small businesses as well. When you look at this percentage, when we talk about small businesses and the support they receive from the government, when you look at on a percentage basis, it's not that much. So supporting, these businesses on a diverse and small side, I think is key, and I think it needs a lot more support as we continue through the years. But that's just kind of my take on kind of what's going on right now. As always, I appreciate your time and, listening to, I guess, what I have to say about Spy University and Small Business Economic Report. As always, follow, like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Check out www.suppliernews.com, and take care. Have a great week.